When the colossal Imperial spacecraft entered Earth's atmosphere, humanity collectively held its breath. No warnings had been issued, no messages sent, nor was there any sign of hostility. Yet, the mere presence of these massive ships cast a shadow of unease across the entire planet. Their purpose was unknown, but everyone on Earth sought to unravel their intentions. The enormous ships began descending toward strategic locations. Each seemed to target critical areas on the globe. The first ship headed to the western coast of the United States, near California. It landed in vast deserts and wooded areas outside major cities without causing any visible damage. The location was close to Silicon Valley, considered the technological hub of the world. Observers speculated that this spot had been deliberately chosen. The second ship landed in Russia's Siberian region. This vast and desolate land held significant military importance. The ship positioned itself near Russia's massive nuclear weapon stockpiles. Reports from Moscow were being anxiously monitored by the rest of the world. Another ship descended into China's interior, heading toward the Gobi Desert. This region was also close to areas hosting military bases. As the Chinese government monitored the landing, their military forces were placed on high alert. Radio signals and electromagnetic waves from the area were being continuously analyzed, but there were no signs of aggression. The fourth ship landed in the heart of Europe, in northern Germany, near industrial hubs and military sites. Its chosen location drew intense attention across the continent. The unified European forces immediately convened emergency meetings, putting the entire region on high alert. The ship's surface, adorned with intricate patterns and symbols, was broadcast live by European media. Finally, the largest ship descended to the mountainous regions of eastern Turkey. Larger and more prominent than the others, this ship shifted global attention toward Turkey. The chosen landing site was a strategically significant area, hosting important military bases and naturally concealed by the rugged terrain. The Turkish government promptly secured the area, while the world watched this ship with heightened curiosity. Once all the ships had landed, global tension escalated further. Silence blanketed the world. None of the ships displayed any signs of attack, nor did they make any friendly gestures. As humanity tried to decipher what would happen next, all eyes turned again to the colossal ship in eastern Turkey. Unlike the others, this ship was far more complex and enormous, resembling a command vessel. It seemed to house the leader of the extraterrestrials. The world stood at a crossroads. Who would take the first step to communicate with these beings? What did this silence signify? Everyone awaited the moment when the quiet would finally break. From the underside of the massive ship, a large hatch began to open. All eyes were fixed on it, watching the moment unfold in breathless anticipation. Slowly, a figure began to descend. This being, clearly the leader of the alien empire, was neither the slender, elongated figure nor the large-headed, big-eyed creature depicted in movies. Instead, the figure was strikingly humanoid, yet with distinct differences. Standing approximately 2 meters tall, the figure had a muscular yet graceful physique. It wore an armor-like suit that fully encased its body. The suit, a matte metallic gray, shimmered with embedded symbols that glowed faintly. It was neither a traditional warrior's armor nor a decorative piece but seemed to perfectly balance functionality and aesthetics. Its limbs resembled those of humans, though the fingers were longer, and the joints appeared unique, suggesting a level of flexibility far beyond human capabilities. The most striking feature was its face. Although it bore similarities to human anatomy, its golden eyes glowed with an inner light, and a faint, rippling energy encircled its irises as though it could see through everything. Its skin was a pale gray, exuding an ageless resilience free from the marks of aging or illness. Its facial features conveyed calmness and control, yet there was a hidden sorrow in its gaze, a hint of weariness from countless years. The figure wore no helmet or headgear. Its bald head was smooth and unblemished, save for a small, softly glowing crystal embedded in the center of its forehead. The purpose of this crystal was unclear, but observers speculated it might serve as a communication or power source. As the imperial leader moved, The ground subtly trembled, not as a display of power but as if the energy it carried was too intense for the earth to bear. Opening its arms wide, it surveyed its surroundings with a calm, almost elegant demeanor. It made no haste, nor did it display any hostility. And then, it spoke. "You do not know us, the Trorks, but we know you well. My ability to speak your language is merely one side of our understanding of you. For billions of years, we have watched your world. Your languages, cultures, wars, and moments of peace we have observed every step. Nothing escapes our gaze." Its voice echoed everywhere, as though speaking in every language at once. The Trorks' technological and scientific prowess was beyond comprehension, and its words left humanity deep in thought. The leader took a deep breath, looking at the humans before continuing. "Where to begin is a challenge. Our story is long and intertwined with yours. Scientifically, you believe Earth is a dead planet that spontaneously evolved life, eventually giving rise to humanity. But there is a deeper, hidden truth to this story." Everyone listened intently, their eyes fixed on the being. "The truth is, billions of years ago, humanity already existed on Earth. Your ancestors were not as advanced as you are today but were intelligent and organized. Yet, to us the Trorks race, your civilization posed a threat." The room grew even quieter as the leader continued. "Back then, we were not a dominant galactic civilization. We could not risk another species surpassing us. Thus, we were forced to eliminate all life on Earth. Alongside your ancestors, another intelligent species on a distant planet met the same fate." Taking a deep breath, the leader elaborated further. "We altered your planet's atmosphere, ecosystem, and biological cycles. By manipulating the atmospheric composition, we rendered life unsustainable. At that time, Earth became a lifeless planet. We believed we had eradicated your kind. Your biosphere of that era was not conducive to the resurgence of life." Seeing the questions in their minds, the leader added a scientific explanation. "However, Earth's geological and biological cycles proved more resilient than we anticipated. What you call spontaneous evolution was, in reality, a byproduct of our interference. Over time, Earth recovered, and life re-emerged. But this time, it evolved from a different biological foundation. Eventually, humanity reappeared through this process." Its tone grew graver. "You, the humans of today, bear traces of your ancestors, yet you have taken a different evolutionary path. The hidden history of your planet is this: life's resurgence was directly triggered by our actions, though we never intended it." The leader glanced at the glowing crystal in its hand, watching holographic images flicker in the air. The humans around it listened, captivated. Its calm but sorrowful expression infused every word with a profound gravity. "We, the Trorks, have been a civilization watching over the galaxy for millions of years. Our power and knowledge are legacies of a long history. Yet this power has not always worked in our favor. Sometimes, knowledge becomes a burden too heavy to bear. Humanity has now become part of that burden." The leader continued his speech, delving into the ancient periods of history. "In ancient times, we were not merely observers of the civilizations that developed on your planet. We attempted to aid the evolution of humanity's chaotic nature. For this, we sent our emissaries, whom you perceived as gods or messengers. These emissaries carried fragments of our advanced technologies and wisdom. However, we never intended to exert full control. Such interference would be contrary to your nature. We only offered guidance." Images of civilizations such as Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Indus Valley appeared in the air. Humans were shown building stone monuments pointing to the stars, organizing vast agricultural fields, and developing the first writing systems. The Trorks leader pointed to these images with his finger. "The designs of pyramids, ziggurats, and ancient temples contain our knowledge. Our emissaries had these structures built to stabilize the energy flow of your world. But these structures were not merely aesthetic and technical achievements. They were also signals to the depths of the galaxy, beacons announcing the existence and potential of your civilization to the stars. Many civilizations failed to understand this call. Unfortunately, some responded in ways far from friendly. The leader continued explaining humanity's belief systems. His expression bore the weight of mistakes made in the past. Our emissaries guided various cultures to bring humanity into harmony. But every society interpreted their teachings differently. Egypt's Ra, Greece's Zeus, Mesopotamia's Anu. All these figures were symbolic reflections of our emissaries. The human mind reshaped them, and over time, these stories transformed into myths. However, the fragmentation of religions and mythologies led to new conflicts among humans. The images changed. Scenes of humans drawing swords against one another and dust clouds kicked up by chariots in battle appeared. The leader's voice carried a melancholic tone. Our emissaries tried to prevent these wars. Yet direct intervention in human will would have halted your progress. Thus, most of the time, we could only watch. Human nature needed to remain free. But this freedom often came with heavy consequences. The leader's gaze hardened as the images progressed to the Middle Ages and the modern era. In the past, some leaders managed to communicate with our emissaries. However, they chose to use their guidance not for peace but for power and control. Humans called these interactions deals with the devil because their outcomes were always destructive. Scenes of Nazi secret research and 20th century war technologies appeared. Nazi Germany was the most concrete example of how Trork's technology could lead to catastrophe in the wrong hands. And they weren't alone. Many governments around your world sought more power for war and domination. But during this era, we decided to withdraw and wait for humanity to mature. The leader shifted his tone to deliver a profoundly serious and emotional statement. His previously calm expression now carried deep resolve. The holograms around him vanished, replaced by a galaxy filled with stars. You, the inhabitants of this planet you call Terra. I must now reveal a truth to you with complete sincerity. We Trorks once believed ourselves to be the greatest power and consciousness in the galaxy. But no power in the universe is eternal. Our home planet, Trorxion, has been succumbing to a natural catastrophe for some time now. Our atmosphere is collapsing, our oceans are disappearing, and our life cycle is nearing its end. He paused briefly, as if speaking these words deeply pained him. Observing the astonishment, helplessness, and curiosity on human faces, he continued, "We have long searched for a solution. But fate has brought us here, to Terra. Your planet is the strongest and most balanced in the universe for sustaining life. Humanity has faced countless challenges on its evolutionary journey and reshaped the boundaries of this planet. We wish to live here. Not to share Terra with you but to claim it entirely. For the survival of our species, this is our only option." Humanity faced the most difficult question in its history. People were left in confusion. The crowd looked around in astonishment, unable to fully grasp what was happening until a small child suddenly shouted, "Hey! If you're the gods we wrote about in our books, the ones we believed in, who imposed rewards and punishments, and revered if you're a race like us, then who is your god?" The leader smiled faintly and replied, "If you accept us on your world, you could be our god, little man."